Hi, everyone. I know I'll give it just a second or two just so that you can get your audio
Good
connected.
morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you all today. So thank you so much for coming on and getting to know a little bit about Harcum. My name is Rachel Bowen. I am the Vice President of Enrollment Management here at Harcum. And we have a little bit of a presentation built for you today so you can learn a little bit about what we are about. So I'm going to go ahead and get started since I know we have a few things we want to cover. I am joined by the admissions team as well for Harcum and by our college president, Dr. John Jay DeTemple. I'm actually going to pass it over to him for right now so he can go over a few things about Harcum, and then we'll get on with the presentation. Dr. DeTemple?
Okay, thanks, Rachel. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us for this session this morning. Being in the Zoom world, it's a little bit different, and actually we're able to reach a lot more people by doing this. So again, I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules to learn a little bit more about Harcum. I just quickly, I've been here about 14 years now as president. We're a college it's kind of different than everybody else. We're a private independent college. There aren't too many of those around. There are only really 3 in Pennsylvania. And we specialize on, we're small, so we specialize on hands-on. Our students know our teachers and they know them very well. During my tenure here, I put a lot of money into support services. A lot of students coming in today need a lot of extra help. And we provide that extra help because, my goal, and I say this all the time, is I want to make everybody successful. I know that's hard to do, but that's what we really try to do here. You'll find it's a family atmosphere. We care about each and every student, and we really try to make it work for them. Again, different than a lot of associate degree granting colleges, we do have a residential component. So students can live on campus, and they'll talk more about that. We have a very vibrant athletic program. We feel that we're the best, and we are in some cases. Our men's basketball is, even though it's COVID, we've been playing some games. We're 10-1. We always do very well. We're always nationally ranked. We're nationally ranked right now. It's just in spite of COVID and everything else, we have been very successful in doing that. We have had online classes. We have had students in residence, and we've been able to control, COVID-19 pretty well. We have a bunch of protocols in place. We're very diligent about it. I've always followed the science and not the politics. That has worked very well for us. And it's a safe place. It's a safe environment. And it's also a safe environment in general. No place is 100% safe today. We all know that, but we live in an area where it is pretty safe. We have 24/7 campus safety. So we're pretty well self-contained, and we're in a vibrant educational area in that there's several colleges within walking distance of Harcum. So, again, I won't say a lot more. We get a lot of first generation students here. We do specialize that in a lot of ways because we want to reach out and be able to help them. I consider you the key to that because you have that first line of information for these students when they're doing their college search. And I know it's hard for counselors because you've got a lot of things on your plate all at once. So again, I really appreciate everybody tuning in today. You'll get a lot more detail as this goes along. We have a fantastic admissions group. Again, they're family to me, and they will help you. So I will leave it at that, and I'll stick around, but I'll turn it back to Rachel for the presentation. Thank you very much again.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Temple. Next, I just wanted to kind of give you a great visual of Harcum with a little bit of a video that we recently put together. And I think it really, really shows off exactly what we are about. So I will go ahead and play that now, and then we will pick up with the presentation.
Hi, I'm Crystal Popiel, Senior Admissions Counselor at Harcum College, the College of Possibilities. At any time during this video, you want to reach out to us for any reason, feel free to email enroll@harcum.edu or call 610-526-6050. Harcum is a 2-year associate's degree granting school located in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, in a region called the Main Line. We were founded in 1915 by a woman who believed in the value of educating students for rewarding and in-demand careers. And today, more than 100 years later, we remain a career-focused college. Harcum is a smaller college offering our students an outstanding and dedicated teaching faculty with 16-to-1 ratio of students to teachers. Small class sizes means unparalleled levels of personal attention from the first day you step on campus until the day you graduate. If you've heard of Harcum, it's likely because of our allied health majors, which have launched the careers of generations of dental hygienists, nurses, physical therapist assistants, and veterinary nurses, just to name a few popular majors with high placement rates and stellar pass rates on board examinations. We are regionally accredited by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. Recently, Harcum absorbed 2 art and design majors from the well-known Antonelli Institute. All our art and design majors, from interior design to fashion programs to graphic design, are taught in the Art and Design Center, our newest learning space. Several majors regularly offer off-campus trips such as fashion design, fashion merchandising, photography, and all the business majors. You can easily find an alphabetical list of all majors we offer on our website, harcum.edu, by clicking on degree programs in the quick links. Some of our majors require the SAT, but most do not. Whatever major interests you, there is no application fee if you apply online. On every page of our website, in the top right-hand corner, are 2 convenient buttons called Request Info and Apply Now. Once you fill out an inquiry form or application, you will have access to your personal page about Harcum, and your admissions counselor will be in touch. We can offer an in-person or a virtual tour, whichever you prefer. Every accepted student has an individual financial aid package and meets with a counselor who will walk you through the process to make sure Harcum is a possibility. Harcum is a really special college in the higher education landscape. We are fiercely proud of our diversity, which includes ethnic, geographic, and age diversity. Several majors have a high percentage of transfer students, and typically we have more than 100 international students at the Bryn Mawr campus. We have exceptional academic support services to help you succeed, many which are housed in our Student Success Center, from coaching to tutoring to disability services, all of which can be found on our website on the academic support page. While the associate's degree is the highest we confer, we are also a residential college. We have 2 residence halls with spacious suite-style rooms. Klein Hall not only houses dining services, but also student life services, the health center, the fitness center, and a gymnasium. Penswood Hall is equipped with a computer lab and houses a campus safety office on site. There are activities for students and clubs for every major. We field 11 varsity sports teams who play either D1 or D2 in the National Junior College Athletics Association. So there are plenty of ways for students to be involved, from Student Government Association to the Honor Society Phi Theta Kappa. There's a regional rail stop right behind our campus, connecting Center City, Philadelphia to some of the westernmost towns in Chester County. We have loads more information on our website, including student and alumni testimonials, our robust career and transfer services activities, such as career expos, and even our licensing exam pass rates. You can also follow us on social media, where we showcase all the exciting and important things our students, alumni, and faculty are doing, and convey what it means to be a proud member of the Harcum community. You deserve a first-rate opportunity to take that next step in your educational journey. We'd love to talk to you about taking that important step at Harcum College.
Okay, so hopefully that gives you a great understanding about Harcum. We love obviously having the visuals. During COVID, it's hard for everyone to kind of get around and see Harcum. So I think that gives you a good understanding of what we're about. I'm actually going to turn it over now to one of our admissions counselors, Tyler Ganji, just to go over a little bit more specifics that we kind of covered in the video from Dr. Temple's greeting. So I'll turn it over to you, Tyler.
Thanks, Rachel. Welcome again to everybody joining us. And hopefully that video was able to get you a really good understanding about Harcum College in general. I'm just going to touch and highlight on some of the things that were mentioned, but as I'm doing so, we are looking for you guys to provide us with some insight as to what your students are looking for in a college, or what concerns your students have about going to college during these times. Since you guys are the ones that work directly with them in their search, we just would love to hear your feedback. So if you guys don't mind listing in the chat just some of the services or things that you find your students are looking for, as I keep going through what we can offer your students. So like the video mentioned, we are a private nonprofit college founded in 1915. We have been around for over 100 years. We're an associate degree granting institution, and all of our degrees are career focused and are able to get our students started into a career right after graduation. We became co-ed in 2003, and right before that, we were an all-girls institution. Like mentioned, one of the most unique things about Harcum being an associate degree granting school is that we have 2 residence halls on campus. So even if your students are interested in getting that associate's degree, but they don't want to miss out on that college feel and that college experience, they can do so here at Harcum. We are D1 and D2 in athletics, and we are able to offer athletic scholarships because of that. So if you have a student who you think would be a great match and is interested in a sport, you can always reach out to one of us and we can help connect them with the coach. We are the Harcum Bears, and our mascot is Hatcher. And here at Harcum, we offer over 20 different associate degree majors and certificate offerings through our continuing studies departments. Certificate offerings are a great way to help a student get started in a career, also help them advance a career they may already have. Here at Harcum, we are most known for our allied health science programs, and especially our high pass rates for all those programs. Overall, most of these programs have over a 91% pass rate, and that really does speak volume to the education that our students are getting. They're coming out ready to graduate and ready to excel on their boards, go on into their career. We also have high school articulation agreements. What this is we're able to provide credits to some high schools that have maybe a similar curriculum or a tech school, so a student can come in with college credits already. And this is really great because it does help them save some money, and they don't have to repeat a course that they may have already had in their high school experience. Since we are such a small school, we are able to offer small class sizes, and this really does correlate to our students being so successful. Because at Harcum, they're not just a number. They're going to really know their professor, and in return, their professor will really know them. And that makes for a really individualized experience, and our students really appreciate that, and they feel really valued and that they're going to be able to get to where they want to go to. We are a blend of traditional, so students that you guys are working with coming right from high school, and non-traditional students. So students that are coming in with maybe a degree already, a prior field, and just looking for a career change. So it is such a diverse population here at Harcum, and we value that a lot. Here at Harcum, we also offer alternative decision options. And this is something we're able to offer students who may not meet the requirements or maybe haven't completed prerequisites we require for a certain major. Instead of flat out denying a student, this alternative option gives them the chance to attend Harcum, get their GPA up, or take those required courses, and then later go on into their original desired major. Already have attending Harcum to do all this gives them priority seating later on down the line in that really heavy allied health science program once they've already been a Harcum student. And we really pride ourselves on the financial aid and scholarship opportunities we're able to offer our students. Every single accepted student is going to receive an individualized financial aid package, and this will be based off their FAFSA, and that's how we're then able to offer them scholarships and grants off of that. So here's a list of all the majors that we do have to offer here at Harcum. I am going to briefly touch on them just to provide you with some highlights and get you a better understanding of what these majors can offer your students. If you do have further questions about a major, like something really specific, we can definitely answer those later during the Q&A session, just to give you more specifics if you're looking for them. So first, accounting. This major is a part of our business cluster, and this is where our students are going to be able to learn how to maintain financial records and to analyze financial reports, go on to get a a job directly in that field. Allied health science is a great major designed to prepare students to go right into the workforce in a healthcare related field. Especially during these times, there's a wide range of jobs starting from in hospitals or even private doctors' offices. Business management is a major, again, a part of our business cluster, and this helps our students develop a strong foundation of business principles, get them an entry-level job in the business management field. Criminal justice will prepare our students for entry-level positions as well and teach them the basic principles of criminal justice. Their careers could range from entry-level in law-related fields like a paralegal, but also law enforcement fields like being a police officer, a corrections officer, or things like that. Dental assisting with EPTA gives our students the knowledge and the experience to graduate with a degree, go on and take their boards, become a certified dental assistant. Dental hygiene is one of our most popular and most competitive majors. After graduation, same thing, our students will be able to sit for their boards, become a dental hygienist. One of the most unique things about our dental programs here at Harcum is we have a dental clinic on campus that sees real patients. So our students are getting really great hands-on experience their whole time through the program, which really just helps build their resume and makes them more marketable after they graduate. Early childhood education gives our students the tools to enter directly into the childcare field, whether it be as an assistant teacher or a group supervisor at a daycare. Fashion design and fashion merchandising are both a part of our art and design cluster. All of these majors, like we mentioned, have their own unique building, which we'll get to see in a couple of slides. Fashion design students specifically are going to learn about the fashion industry and learn how to sketch so that they can go on and play just a really important part in the fashion industry. Fashion merchandising students are going to learn to focus on their areas of interest. So whether they're interested in retail buying, the marketing aspect or entrepreneurship, they'll be able to learn all the tools needed to be successful in that field. And then general studies is a really unique major Harcum has to offer. This major doesn't focus on one specific course of study. Instead, it provides our students with a wide range of courses that we're able to tailor to what that individual student wants. So this major would look really different depending on the specific student that is in it. Graphic design, again, also a part of our art and design cluster, prepares our students to either go right into freelance work or entry-level jobs in the graphic design field. Histotechnician is a really unique major because this has a blend of online and in-person labs, and this major prepares the students how to learn how to take body tissue samples, to examine them, to diagnose and treat diseases. And then we have a new major coming up for fall 2021. We're really excited about it. It's behavioral health services. This is ideal for the student who maybe wants to go into psychology, but this is going to be a little more tailored directly to teaching them about addiction, cognitive conditions, and personality disorders. You can later go on and get certified by the state, become an associate addiction counselor. Interior design, another major, a part of our art and design cluster, gives our graduates the tools they need to conceive, plan, and create interior design spaces. Marketing, our students are learning how to analyze the markets, write marketing plans, then go on and build their portfolio to become really employable after their time. Massage therapy is another new one we have coming for fall 2021. And again, we're really excited to offer this to our students. This major is still being developed. However, ultimately, they will be able to graduate with their associate's degree and work as a licensed massage therapist. Medical lab technician is unique like histotechnician, where they have a blend of online and in-person labs, where they will use blood samples or body fluids to help detect and diagnose disease. Nursing is one of our unique majors where we do require 10 college prerequisites to come in. This is where those alternative decisions really come into place. For students that you guys are probably working with no prior college credits, they would be able to get an alternative decision at Harcum, take those prerequisites, and then for the students who then complete them or already have them coming in, they'll be able to then graduate, take their NCLEX, become a registered nurse. And our pass rate on the NCLEX has been a 100% for the past 3 graduating classes, which we're really proud of, and again, just speaks a lot of volume about the program. Occupational therapy assistant, this is where students will learn to help people of all ages overcome disabilities that may interfere with their everyday lives. We have an on-campus lab setting for them to get really hands-on experience with this major and great clinical affiliations as well. Photography, again, is a part of our art and design cluster. They are working with professionals in the field to really help build a portfolio and learn how to work in the fast-paced world of photography. Physical therapist assistant, this is where they're learning to use the application of exercise and activity to help restore a body function that may have gotten injured or something along those lines. Again, we have an on-campus lab facility for our students to do their labs on campus and get really great hands-on experience and really great clinical affiliations as well for this major. Radiologic technology is where our students are going to be able to become a certified X-ray tech, and they'll learn how to take quality diagnostic images of the body. And here at Harcum, we have an on-campus X-ray lab, and this provides for a really unique experience and a hands-on experience for our students. Sports management, they're learning about all levels of sports management, and upon graduation, they will be able to work in whether it be a local recreational facility or even learning how to work for professional sports teams. And then last, hopefully you guys are not sick of hearing me talk about all the majors, but veterinary nursing, this is another really great one we have at Harcum College. This is where they're essentially graduating as the nurse of the animals, and they're going to be able to become a CVT. One of the unique things about this program is we have a hands-on animal clinic on campus with 6 different types of animals, and more importantly, our program is affiliated with the University of Pennsylvania School of Vet Medicine. This is huge because UPenn does not take students from any other school. They're only taking Harcum College students, and we get to work alongside their vet students to become prepared in this field. So now as I keep going, after you guys got to hear about the majors we have to offer, we're looking for your feedback again. If you don't mind providing in the chat, just what majors are your students looking at? Where do you guys hear that your students want to get into? What careers are they focused on? Just so again, we can kind of have a little more insight and understand how we can better service your students. So again, if you guys don't mind providing that in the chat as well, that would be awesome. So here at Harcum, we handle our admissions based on the major. So depending on what major your student would apply to would depend on who their counselor is. Here's a list of all our counselors and what majors they handle. We're all here today on the Zoom. So if you do have any specific questions, maybe something I didn't get to mention about a certain major, we're here to answer them. So we can answer those questions for you during the Q&A session. Here, like we had mentioned before in our video and from Dr. DeTemple, is our Art and Design Center. This is a really unique building because it is one place for all of our art and design majors to have a collaborative community. Not only are they collaborating within the students in their major, but they're also able to collaborate among the other majors in this cluster. It's a really nice open floor plan, and it has all the tools and supplies the students need in that building to be successful in their fields. Just to go over again the majors that are held in this building, that is graphic design, fashion merchandising, interior design, and photography. Now, at Harcum, all of our non-allied health majors have always not required an SAT or an ACT, even before the pandemic. So moving forward, we will not require SATs for any of those majors in the first 2 boxes. Now, due to the pandemic, our allied health science majors typically do offer or require an SAT. We have gone test optional for fall 2021. So we will use all the other admissions documents to make a decision since we won't have SAT scores. We do find we do need some more placement testing. We have our own tests that students can take, and that would be scheduled on a case-by-case basis if that student was required. But again, we'll use a holistic approach with other documents like the essays and the recommendations to be able to make a decision. So now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Crystal, and she's going to continue on. So Crystal.
Thank you so much, Tyler. As Tyler said, my name is Crystal Popiel, and I'm also an admissions counselor here at Harcum College. But before I get started, I'm actually going to turn it back over to Dr. DeTemple so he can add some comments for you guys.
Yeah, I'm back. I normally don't do this, but I've been following the chat as well, and I just can't help myself. There are a couple of things that I would touch on. One of them is, students want to be in face-to-face classes, and that's where we're headed for this fall. We have every intention to be face-to-face in the fall. Somebody made the comment, you don't want to come to a residence hall and sit there and take classes on a computer and pay that money, and I agree. The other thing is the cost. What people don't realize and what they really need to look at, and I emphasize this over and over again, you have to look at the net tuition because we have a number of scholarships that bring the cost down considerably. And I would say we never have anybody walk away because of cost. We usually find a way to make it work for them. Either they have availability in terms of federal Pell Grants and things like that. There are a variety of ways that we can make that work for each and every student. So those are some things to keep in mind. Somebody asked questions about career and technical education. We do already have some articulation agreements with some of the high schools in that regard, and we could do more. So, that's also an option. I did want to mention those things in particular. There's a lot of good comments in the chat, but I thought those were kind of some overall things that were important to mention. And by the way, the one thing you want to do is get the federal government to agree to doubling Pell. That will help absolutely everybody better than free education. It levels the playing field, and it takes into account all types of people. So just keep that in mind. So I'll get out of your way again.
Thank you.
Crystal, you're up. Yeah.
Yes. So as I said, my name is Crystal, and I'm going to start talking a little bit more about our tutoring services that we have here at Harcum. We have a great student success center on campus where we offer free tutoring to our students. We provide peer and professional tutoring, but most of our tutors are professional tutors, faculty members at Harcum or other schools in the area. And we offer tutoring in writing, math, and sciences, just to name a few, as well as program-specific tutoring. But the center also helps students with study skills and reading skills. We have facilitators that can read student papers ahead of time to give them feedback. So we definitely encourage our students to take advantage of the center while they're here at Harcum. We also have an awesome career and transfer services department here. They really work closely with our students to get them to their end goal, whether that's working in the field immediately or transferring to a four-year school after they graduate. But all of our majors, as Tyler mentioned, are designed to prepare students to begin their career in the workforce right after they graduate. So there's no major that we offer that you have to get a bachelor's degree. And we assist students with job preparation, resume writing, mock interviews, career closet, and different things like that to help them when they're getting ready to enter the workforce. This department also assists students with the transfer process. So we have over 15 articulation agreements set up with four-year institutions. So if a student decides they would like to continue on and get their bachelor's degree, it would just be in a 2+2 format. So this would provide them with that seamless transfer. And the list of schools that we have articulations with is listed on the website. If a school that a student is interested isn't listed, we are regionally accredited. So if a student receives a C or better in those classes, typically it should transfer. It would just depend on the four-year school. But our articulations that we have in place, they just make it a little bit of a smoother transition for them. And then this department also has job and transfer expos that they put on throughout the year. Campus safety. Harcum College, we take our student safety very seriously. Our campus safety team is on campus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They're here even on the holidays, and they can be reached at any time on the emergency number that's listed here. So we encourage all of our students to write that number down once they begin their studies, just in case they need anything. And then we also have security stations in both residence halls, and our campus safety officers, they regularly walk throughout the campus. Disability Support Services. So this department is run by Dr. Richard Cooper. If a student has an IEP or a documented physical, learning, psychological, or other disabilities, he's able to work with the students to provide reasonable accommodations for them. The great thing about Dr. Cooper is he's also our learning specialist. So even if you don't have a documented disability, he still is able to work with you. And he provides test-taking techniques, study strategies, he helps with organizational skills. He also helps with time management. An interesting fact about Dr. Cooper is that he also uses hypnosis to help students overcome certain anxieties. And in the past, he's worked with a student that was in one of the allied health majors who had a fear of needles. He was able to help them overcome it so that they could be successful on their board. So he's just a wonderful resource that we have here at Harcum. So Harcum is very involved in athletics. We are Division I and Division II, and we are part of the National Junior College Athletic Association. Athletics is a great way for students to be a part of a team, stay in shape, meet other students. It can also help to offset the cost of tuition, as there are lots of scholarship opportunities available for students that take part in our athletics. But as you can see, we offer men and women's basketball, men's JV basketball, men and women's soccer, men and women's cross country, track and field, and then we also have women's volleyball. So as Tyler mentioned, we have residence halls here on campus. We have 2 different residence halls. The rooms are very spacious and they're suite style, which means 2 rooms to 1 connecting restroom. So instead of 35 students on a floor sharing a restroom, it's a bit more private, and our students really seem to appreciate that. We also have student lounges with flat screen TVs. And as I mentioned earlier, we have security stations in both residence halls. And then every resident student receives a meal plan, and our commuter students are also able to take advantage of our dining services as well. We have a fitness center on campus, which is open to all of our students, and it was recently remodeled. And lastly, we just have fun activities for all of our students to take part in when they're not studying. Our student life department is really great. They've been really creative with coming up with activities for students to do during the pandemic. So we've done things like virtual bingo or social distanced movie night on the lawn, but we always try to have activities for students to take part in. So the first step in the application process is to complete an application online. It is free to fill that out online. Students would just go to our website to complete it. And then once they apply, they'll be assigned a specific admissions counselor who will work with them through the entire process. So they're going to review their application, and then they're going to email and reach out to the student to let them know exactly what documents they'll need to submit so that they have it in writing. Most of our majors only require an official high school transcript. Our allied health majors tend to require the SAT, but again, as Tyler mentioned, it is optional now. If the student does need to take an additional assessment exam offered by Harcum in lieu of the SAT, their admissions counselor will let them know. For the personal essay, this will need to be submitted depending on the major. Most of our allied health majors require this, and our non-allied health majors don't. And then for the professional letter of recommendation, again, this is more for our allied health majors. And then lastly, for FAFSA, we encourage our students to complete their FAFSA application if they plan to apply for financial aid. This can be done right after they apply or even before they apply. The student does not have to be accepted to complete the FAFSA and add our school code. So we also wanted to fill you guys in on some upcoming events that admissions will be having. On Thursday, March 25th, we'll be having our virtual instant decision day. And this is just a really fun event where students are able to receive a decision on the spot. We do have some requirements for the event. Students must be a current senior or already earned their high school diploma. We also need to receive their official transcript before the day of the event so we can ensure that we can give them that instant decision. And students must also register to attend this event. But we love meeting our students virtually on this day. And then this is actually a picture here of Tyler accepting a student into a program at the last virtual instant decision day that we had in February. And I also want to tell you guys, don't worry about writing any of this information down. We will be sending you an email that contains all of the details for our future events so that you can share that with your students. And then we will also be hosting a virtual art and design experience event. This is a great way for students interested in any of our design majors to meet the program director for the major, as well as get a chance to work hands-on. So as you can see on the screen, those are some of the fun projects that the students will be able to work hands-on. There's a $10 fee to participate, and that covers the cost of supplies. Space is limited for this event, so students will need to register by March 16th to participate. And then we'll also be hosting our annual virtual spring open house on April 17th on a Saturday. Open house is just a great way for students to learn more about Harcum, hear from representatives from every department of the school. They'll also have a chance to hear from the program directors for each major, as well as hear from the admissions team. So next, we just have some important information listed here. The Harcum website is www.harcum.edu, and this is where students can learn more about Harcum College, all the different majors we offer, as well as submit that application online for free. For your students who plan to complete their FAFSA application, they can just go to the FAFSA website and enter our school code, which is 003272. And then lastly, I just want to mention that every student who acquires or completes an application, they're going to have access to a personal page. And this is where they're going to see all updated information, different events that Harcum's having. And then once they apply, they're going to have access to their application checklist on that personal page. And they'll also be able to upload documents that they need to send to the admissions team. So it's just a great way for students to stay connected. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Rachel Bowen. She's our Vice President of Enrollment Management, who will begin the Q&A portion of the presentation.
Thanks so much, Crystal. So hopefully this gives you all the information you need to better explain our school to your students. And I wanted to just take a moment, I want to make sure we stay on schedule. We're running a little bit, the event was scheduled to be at 11:15, but I don't want to I know you guys are very busy, so I wanted to just get to the Q&A to see if you guys have any specific questions. Feel free to unmute yourselves if you would like to ask directly, or if you would like to submit some questions through the chat. We can do it either way that works best for you. I did receive some questions already that I will just kind of touch on. I know there was a question, and I know that counselors, my admissions team was kind of trying to speak with you directly through the chat to kind of answer them, but just in case. There was a question about, do we offer kosher meals? One of the things we take pride in with is not even just within it when it comes to dining, but with everything, to try to really work with our students. So basically any need that our students have, we do try to meet that. So yes, if a student would prefer a kosher meal, that is definitely, we do handle upon request. So definitely. I know there was a lot of questions about the different articulation agreements. So we do have a lot of local agreements. Mostly right now what we're doing is we're kind of just focusing on the SOAR agreements. They've already been outlined through the state of Pennsylvania. So most of our agreements are focused from SOAR, but we do have local agreements for programs that fall outside of SOAR. So for like, say, our business program, something that's maybe not considered a career tech focused program, we can certainly look at your curriculum and see if there's something that you would like to have lined up for what your students specifically are doing, so they can get college credit for that. And the way that process works is it is a student initiated process if they would like to receive that credit or they believe they qualify for those credits. So it is available on our website. We do send an email to all accepted students letting them know what that process looks like. Just basically saying that they are requesting that their high school transcript be reviewed for possible transfer credits. And then our transfer coordinator looks at those high school transcripts at that time to see if they qualify. Now, if a student I know you're kind of dealing more with high school students, but for any reason you're still in contact with students who have transferred, looking to maybe even go back to school, all of our transfer credits at the college level are all done at the time of acceptance. So they know as soon as they're accepted exactly what will transfer in. So I'm just trying to look at, see what are some of the questions I see there coming in. One of the questions is there a difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition costs? Nope, our students, if they live in Pennsylvania or outside the state, our tuition is the same. And one of the things that I know we kind of touched upon, but we really always want to try to do have our tuition be as affordable as possible. So anytime a student has a concern, we always hate to lose a student due to cost. They really want to be at Harcum. So we actually, those students are in contact with their admissions counselor and they bring that to me. And then I look to see if there's any additional funds, if there's a concern for a student. And I've even had guidance counselors even reach out with concerns for their student of cost. And I don't think there's ever been a time that we haven't been able to make something work. It may not cover the whole balance, but we always try to do something for those students to try to work with them. Regarding sports recruiting, what method do you recommend students to go about pursuing play at Harcum? Dr. Temple, I think you might want this question, so I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, I usually answer any of the athletic questions. It depends on the sport. We have on our website, we have a whole separate page for athletics, and it has on there the coaches and the coaches' contact information. So if somebody has an interest in a sport, they can do that. Probably the one exception, though, is our men's basketball. That is a recruited sport. Kids come sometimes to say, where are the tryouts? Well, there aren't. That's why we started JV basketball for those kids that want to come and still play. It's not a scholarship sport, but it is still, they have the opportunity to play, and we have a full schedule for them as well. So it's mainly just contacting the coach, and you can see that right on our website. And as Rachel mentioned, the regular sports all have some scholarship attached to it, some athletic scholarship. So there's additional aid that way for students that are participating in our athletic programs.
Thank you. Another question is, do we have guaranteed admission programs? So the programs that Tyler touched upon that were kind of non-allied health majors are considered open enrollment programs. So it's under the condition that they are going to graduate with their high school diploma. So obviously, as you can imagine, the allied health programs tend to have more specific criteria between math and science. And we want to make sure the students are set up for success. So we do have criteria that they would have to meet. Some of those programs may even have prerequisites. So the guaranteed programs for admission, as long as the student is on track to graduate, would be the non-allied health programs. The other thing just to kind of mention with that, that Tyler mentioned, was that we do have the alternative decisions. So we try to, we don't want to just deny a student if we think that the student probably would be a candidate for the program, but just not at this time. So if we feel that the student really wants dental hygiene, but it's not a fit at the moment, we will then usually offer them, dental assisting to start out in, or allied health science, depending on what major is their goal. And then we give those students priority seating. So it's not guaranteed admission, but they meet that transfer criteria, they will have a seat. So it's a really, really great option for students to be able to have a path. It's one thing if you're not ready yet for the program, but if you don't have, an alternative, it could leave students kind of stuck and not really sure what to do. And we want to already have a plan for them and also outline the transfer criteria. So it's very black and white that they understand what they need to do to get to their goal. We don't want it to be gray or anything, because then obviously they may not be able to achieve that if they're not very sure what the criteria is. So it is something that we do very well, and the students are very appreciative. And some students have even said, I don't know how I would have done the program knowing what I know now if I didn't kind of spread it out over those 3 years. So it's definitely a great option, especially for high school students where they're not coming in with transfer credits. It allows them to maybe take it a little bit lighter than to be kind of, in it all together, really compressed environment. So that is a little bit more, not guaranteed admission, but the priority seating I just wanted to mention again. And I don't know if I see any other questions. Is there anything that anybody would like to unmute their mic to ask out loud?
Could I just ask a follow-up to my sports question
Sure.
about being a student athlete, and because we have a lot of career intensive majors, different than other schools perhaps where there is a student athlete, what kind of supports do you have for those students to keep them academically focused and on track to hit the marks they need to graduate?
Yeah, definitely. We, Each coach has the responsibility of making sure their athletes are in class. We follow up very closely. We have an academic notification system that teachers, whenever there's a student that say is not going to class and they should be, or they aren't doing well on their quizzes, that information goes out so we can immediately follow up on it. Men's and women's basketball, we have study halls for them. And if they're not in class, they don't play. We run a lot of high discipline in that. We want them to be successful. It's a great opportunity for them. They're getting part of their education paid, but I'm a big believer that it takes everybody working together. It's not about just wins. We win a lot, but that's not really what it's about. We really want to make them successful. And the nice thing too is when they come here, if they do well, they'll get a chance to go on to another college and again get a scholarship to go forward. 5 of our basketball players from last year are playing at NCAA Division I schools, so they all got that opportunity. But they have to respond to what we do. We don't have a star system at Harcum. We have a team system. So we try to keep everybody engaged. And number one, they got to be successful in their education. That's why they're here. The rest is great, and we have a lot of fun with it. I tend to be at all our games, but that's how it works.
Thank you.
Somebody mentioned vet nursing, and just a little more on that. We have a relationship with the University of Penn vet school, so it's really kind of cool. Nobody else has this. So what happens is they go here for regular 4 semesters, like they would with an associate degree, but then they have an opportunity to go to Penn with 2 practicums, one for large animals, one for small animals. So they get that credential too on the resume when they graduate. It takes them an extra year to do those practicums, but it's well worth it. People come here specifically because of that relationship with Penn, and they have that opportunity.
Definitely. Any additional questions?
I have a question about clinical experiences for, say, dental hygiene. If you're enrolled in the program, are you guaranteed that opportunity, or is it competitive and you have to apply to get that opportunity?
It's a great question. All of our majors that involve clinicals, we provide for the students. So I know I've heard of some programs where they might be admitted into the program, but then there's like a waiting list maybe for clinicals or something like that. Ours are all guaranteed. Like even with our nursing program, it begins right away with clinicals. So we have to have that all worked out for our students. And we're always gathering new ones. If there's ever an issue, it's more of the school taking the initiative where we find placement. It's never on the student or they're on a wait list for a clinical site. We're actually really proud of how we've been able to make that work with COVID. Our OTA program was really innovative, where there's a lot of students that we have heard that are kind of on a backlog of trying to wait for clinical placement because there was a lot of issues with places not being open for students to do their clinical experience. And we've been able to use like telehealth and really keep our students on track. So there really wasn't any delays. So we're really proud of, not only our clinical sites, but the ability that we've been able to, the flexibility that we have found to make sure that's going to benefit us in the future to even use some of those initiatives down the road, even without COVID.
Yeah, we kind of do the opposite. If we don't have clinicals, we cap our enrollment. So, we have that happen where, okay, these are the number of clinics we got, and that's as many students as we can take. So we don't do it the other way. The other thing is we have an on-campus dental clinic. And we see patients at that clinic. We have a dentist on duty at all times, and it's fully equipped. So most of our students are right there getting clinical experience right on campus. They don't have to go anywhere else.
Thank you.
I think that might be all the questions. I know some of you may think of things after this presentation is concluded, so feel free to email me. I believe you all have my email address, and you should even have gotten probably a follow-up email once you logged into the Zoom with my contact info. So please let me know if you have any questions, concerns. be happy to get back with you. And I'll also be sending, we did record this, as you can see, so we do have that available. And then I also want to make sure that you have those events that we have coming up. So an email will be sent separately with how students registered all for those 3 events. So if you have students that you think that this is going to be a great option for them, you'll have that info. But we really appreciate your time. I know you guys are very busy. We just really wanted to share our experience of being a little bit different, an associate degree with residential options. So hopefully this meets the needs of your students, and also very career focused. I think that's very important nowadays, to just make sure that, you know, students with concern with costs, that they're also going to be able to get a great job when they finish. And I think we do that very well. So we appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you all at our next event. So thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. My
Thank you.
puppy enjoyed it as well. I'm really sorry. She was all over the place.
That's
So cute.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful. This was really great. We're at High Point in New Jersey, and it's really helpful. We have some students that are interested, especially the allied health. Very informative. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.